A serial road toll dodger has faced court owing more than $130,000 in unpaid fines. Santos Bonacci told a magistrate he'd pay the huge amount in less than 3 months, but after the hearing, he changed his tune.
To his friends and followers, Santos Bonacci is a superstar worthy of his own film crew.
All Australians out there.
But in the eyes of the justice system, he's stealing from the taxpayer and has been since 2010. Bonacci has amassed 483 fines for not paying Eastlink and CityLink tolls, along with speeding infringements. It has resulted in a $132,000 bill. If he doesn't pay, he faces 916 days in prison. So far, he's already served 9 days, but apparently they don't count. Are you worried about going to jail?
I'm a live man. I don't go to jail.
In a bizarre appearance at the Dandenong Magistrates Court today, the 51-year-old offered to pay and settle the full amount. But the magistrate thought it was a huge sum of money and suggested a payment plan, to which Bonacci sought 90 days to resolve the matter. Outside the court, though, it became a little more complicated. Are you going to pay the fines?
Well, we're going to pay it the proper way, not with cash like idiots do. How you pay for anything is with promissory notes.
Bonacci's supporters followed him into court and packed the public gallery. They were swearing at the magistrate and referring to Victoria's justice system as corrupt. Despite being warned, the verbal taunts continued for most of the hearing. Bonacci is due back in court in 3 months. He claims that won't be necessary. Michael Scanlon, 7 News.
You can rely on 7 News.
We live in a mediaocracy. What is politically possible is defined by the media environment. In Australia, Murdoch's News Corporation owns 60% of the mainstream media, one of the worst concentrations of media ownership in the world.
I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls.
I started WikiLeaks because I understood this reality. So to bring about meaningful change, we have to enlarge the media frame.
The only arseholes who make any money from the tolls, it's a private corporation owned by Tenix. Tenix, the Salteri family, a criminal mafia family. And these bastards are working for them, and all the arseholes that work for this fictional fiat currency system. And it's going to come crashing down, that's for sure.
Do you think
you better tell the truth?
Do you think that argument's going to get you off this afternoon?
I'm not going to argue that. I've been divulging this on the internet on Mr. Astrotheology YouTube site for about 3 years. So I'm already going to destroy this corruption, because we are human beings, men and women. We are free. We are not subject to this Vatican death. This is death certificate. This is a bond, a security. We've been securitized and monetized, and you have too, and you're part of the fraud. And so is Channel 7 telling bullshit to the world. You think I'm going to get any of this on air? I don't think so. It'll be edited, because you guys are liars. And you work with the Rothschilds and the Windsors, who own the Reserve Bank, who owns the legal tender, which has enslaved us. I'm going to teach Australians how to make promissory notes. Promissory notes to pay with their own sovereignty and to pay with their own bonds. This is a bond, folks. The banksters are making billions off your blood and sweat. And we're coming in here, look at all the people, look at all these poor people working for fictional fiat currency legal tender, barristers, morons, arseholes that come here to steal people's money, murderers.
Most normal people would just say that, you know, you should pay your fines like everyone else.
Yeah, because most people are so fucking dumbed down. They are dunces. Pure dunces. We are free and sovereign. Why do they think that they have to pay tolls to one family? The Salteri family. The Salteri family. One family that owns Tenix. That's where your tolls are going, brother. Do you realise that? Do you realise that toll money does not go for infrastructure at all?
Most people pay their toll because they fear going to jail. Do you fear going to jail for this today?
I'm a man. Whoever, if they want someone to go to jail, they can put this person to jail. This is a person, this is a man. Men don't go to jail. I'm not surety for their paperwork.
But do you think that legal argument is going to...
It's not a legal argument, it's lawful. It's the law. And it's time for wakey in this world, because that's why wars are being generated all over the place, to support this bullshit. It's a crock of shit, the whole system. It's Vatican system owned. You have been enslaved. Everyone who has a birth certificate has been enslaved. Everyone has been enslaved by their birth certificate bonds. This is a death certificate, folks. What you need to do is be wise and go to the registry and get yourself one of these, a live birth record stating that Santos Bonacci is living, not a stillborn. Let's see what they do with a living man. Wake up, folks. It's time to be living. Time to be in the land of the living, not in the land of the dead.
Don't worry, Santos, this is going to be on YouTube, mate. This is not going to be in front of the
No worries.
They're going to put 2 seconds.
Absolutely. It's already on YouTube.
And then they're going to get McDonald's.
Thanks, liars. Thank you, liars. All the best.
Murdoch's mainstream media.
Murdoch, Channel 7, Channel 9, Channel 10.
He won't have his lies cut out. That's for sure. He won't have his lies cut out.
You're working for the liars.
He won't have his lies cut out.
The media in the hands of big business will only present us with politicians that will serve their interests. It would be completely illogical for them to do otherwise. It would also be illogical to expect politicians to change a system that puts them in power. But it certainly begs the question, just what kind of democracy do we have?
You're Channel 7 again, aren't you?
As the market state, yes.
Yeah, it's sad, guys, that...
Are you going to pay the fines?
Well, we're going to pay it the proper way, not with cash like idiots do. Idiots who pay for these commercial instruments with cash are basically ignorant, and they are causing more fraud and more debt to the country. How you pay for anything is with promissory notes. We have the power to make money. What we have done is we have deferred this to the banks, i.e. one bank, the Reserve Bank. The Reserve Bank has no reserves, it's not a bank, it is a fraudulent corporation operating in this country,
So why
owned
the fines to the Reserve Bank?
owned
They're fraudulent.
by the Rothschilds and the Windsors and the Rockefellers, and they are the only ones benefiting from us using and paying with cash. How you pay is you discharge against your bond. Your birth certificate is a bond. You have more value in here than any fine that they can give you in any court under the sun. This is your value. It's your life. They stole this from you. When you were born, you were issued one of these. This is a birth certificate. It should be called a death certificate. But
inchoate accounting instrument.
It's an inchoate accounting instrument. How you pay is with promissory notes. Buck 05. Negotiable instruments, not with cash. We have to stop using Federal Reserve notes or Reserve Bank notes. They are owned by criminals, i.e. the Windsors, a criminal family, and the Rothschilds, another criminal family.
So during your next court date, 3 months' time, you haven't paid these fines financially?
I'm paying it this afternoon with a promissory note.
You're going to pay $130,000 this afternoon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
there won't be another court date. There won't be any other hearings. It will be paid the honourable way. In fact, it's not even honourable because I feel that I'm committing fraud by doing it anyway, because I shouldn't be cooperating at all with this filthy, dirty commercial system. You and I have been monetised, brother. You have been monetised through that instrument. You are money in the eyes of banksters. You know the banks pay $6 million for these from the hospitals, and you know how much they get turned around? These are securities on the stock market. You're making $6 billion by the time you retire for the Rothschilds, mate. They've got plenty of gold taps and champagne and caviar and cigars in their mansions, while a good portion of humanity are starving to death. And wars that the Rothschilds are perpetrating on the planet. All those wars, Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, that's all a crock of shit. That's all from pedophile families like the Rothschilds and the Salteri family, who own Tenix, who are charging us tolls. There's only one family in this country that benefits from tollways, and that's the Salteri family. One criminal mafia family that gets all the benefits. None of that goes to paying taxes or for infrastructure. I'll be making videos how to pay so that we stop using Reserve Bank notes. Every time you go and pay your utilities, you are compounding the national debt. Do you realise that? I don't think you realise that. You think, you're kind of laughing at me, thinking, oh, this guy's a nut.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. You must understand, brother. You must understand. Every time you use that cash, that is blood money.
Stop
Federal Reserve notes. Has anyone got a note?
Has
anyone got a note?
Are you worried about going to jail? Are you worried about going to jail?
Value is your time.
I'm a live man. I don't go to jail. They can put Mr. Santos Bonacci in jail if they want to. See that? Read here, folks. Read here. Legal tender. This is not money. This is useless dead note, and it's blood money, owned by the Rothschilds. One family. Friends, learn how to pay. Make promissory notes and discharge your debt with proper promissory notes. These are legal tender. This is fraud.
Will you be back?
And every time you use it,
will you be back in court in 3 months?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. All right.
Yeah.
Cool, mate. Thanks for talking with us. Thanks very much, everyone.
Yeah. And do the honourable thing, brother, and put the right message.
I will.
Leave the voice on too. Leave the voice on.
Because
that I can do.
You only make fools of yourself if you some right stuff. Because you're a slave of Murdoch, brother. You're a slave of Rothschild. You're a slave of the Windsors. You're a slave of this corporate criminal government.
So, Mr. Santos, what do you think is going to happen next time we don't appear?
Well, what's going to happen, Brother Ken, is we are going to make a nice promissory note for $130,000, and we're going to teach all those poor Australians out there who go with these stupid, filthy, blood money, debt currency, legal tender, and we're going to teach them how to pay because they don't deserve it. This is a private corporation registered on the Securities Stock Exchange Commission in New York. The sheriffs are registered on the Securities Exchange Commission in New York. They are all private corporations, friends. Please don't do business with these vampires. These are destroying our country.
Just to let you know, Santos, for the last 2 years I've been paying with the promissory notes. I've had the sheriffs on my door and I've paid them back with promissory notes. They haven't come back again.
Exactly. Make your own money, Australians. Make your own money. Learn how to make your money to pay for everything. Because these debts are putting our children into debt for all eternity, and there is blood on these debts.
They need to start reporting the truth. Because these guys are gone. You're finished. You're done.
You have so much responsibility, you guys, to teach the truth to Australians. There's only a handful of people behind these buildings that own the corporation that are destroying all of us. They are destroying us.
It's going down, mate.
Okay, so what happened today, I settled the case and ordered that we pay. Now, how am I going to pay? Well, what anyone would normally think of paying is, as paying would be to give cash, right, or write out a cheque against their bank account or something like that. But this is the thing. We have the power to create money, just as banks do. Banks have got printing presses to create money. Well, how do we create money? Well, by making promissory notes. So what we're going to do is we're going to settle the account. Now, they know what that means. These bonds here, they're worth billions. And they are potentially ours to claim. I mean, because we are the principal of our birth certificate bonds. Now, in ignorance, we think that that's just a certificate saying that we're a member of this particular society, or we're a citizen, etc. But what that is actually a financial securitized bond. And they float these on the stock market, and basically only the banks profit from our birth certificates. So when you discharge a debt, you are actually discharging against the value that is in there, or rather the value that we have, because we have been collateralized against these bonds. Because since 1933, when they removed the gold standard, the banks put all countries on the globe in debt. They've bankrupted the whole. So this is a bankruptcy. So what they're doing is administering the bankruptcy here in this private commercial court. It's not a common law court. It's got nothing to do with, say, Queen's Bench or common law or equity or human rights. It's just an administrative court. So all they're doing is, all they want is to be paid, okay? So basically we went in there today and in honour offered to pay. And so the point is, when I do pay, I will be paying against this particular bond with a promissory note. And so what that does is it takes cash out of their hands, because they are supposed to be settling, they're supposed to be doing the bookkeeping for us. They're public trustees. You see, they know this. They know that they are supposed to settle all of our accounts, because we've got value far in excess of any of these utility bills or tax bills and liabilities and etc. All of our liabilities, these people as public trustees who steal our tax money for their work, to do their work, are actually double dipping when they fine people and charge people and force them to pay with reserve notes. Reserve notes belong to one family, they don't belong to us. And this is a warmongering family, the Rothschilds, and this is why we are perpetually in debt and in war. Because we are actually using their notes, and we have to stop using their notes. We have to learn how to pay with negotiable instruments, with promissory notes, with the $1.05. Learn about the $1.05 and give them, their money lawfully and honourably, instead of committing fraud. For every time you use those notes, you're committing fraud. Whatever you pay with, however you pay, other than making your own money. So friends, the moral of the story is learn how to make money, because we have more power than banks to make our money from our value.
Thanks, my friend.
Yeah, I love to talk a lot. And let's film something else, folks.
We'll go down. We're going down with a big wave.
All dear Australians and all dear people who really do wish to be free, please remember your birth certificate is a bond. There's the number. There's bond numbers all over here. QSIP numbers, bank numbers. You've been monetised, you've been enslaved by the birth certificate. It is a death certificate. Please go to the registry and get yourself, acquire a live birth record, because that will bring you out of their jurisdiction into the land of the living, which the judge refused to take off me today. Now, the magistrate refused to take this document off me, even though I put it as evidence into the record. I did that, and what this does is it tells you that you are living. You see, here's Santos Bonacci in lower minuscule letters, male, living. See, they've got here living or stillborn. And so this tells one and all that you are living. Please acquire one of these. You can get these for about $20 to $30 at the registry, and take yourself out of their ship, their citizenship, because this is a ship of Admiralty law. And when you go into here, you are in their waters, and you may never safely return, because this ensures that you are dead on the waters. You see, this is a ship in the sea of, well, it's in the sea of air, in the sea of water. That is why it is a citizenship, whereas this is the living document. And when you go into court or anywhere like that, and you bring that into you, that notifies those dead entities that you are living, that you are a man or a woman, not a person. This is a person, this is a man. There is a male. See, they won't say here, you know, a man. They will put here a person. This is a person, you see. The all caps name, Bonacci, that is a person. Please look at your Black's Law Dictionary. Please look at your law dictionaries and find out what person means. Person means corporation. Corporation comes from the word corpse. It's dead. Of course it's dead. It's a bit of paper. It's a dead piece of paper. Whereas I'm living. You can hear my sound. You can hear my voice. You can see that I'm alive and moving. These are dead pieces of paper. This is 2 dimensions. And see, what they've done is they've forced us to commit fraud by creating joinder to this person. You see, so when the judge was speaking to me today, he was talking to Mr. Santos Bonacci. Mr. is a title. It's a title that belongs to a person. And so I am not a person. I am a man, a flesh, blood man. This person can go to jail. This person, they can have this person on your birth certificate, which is a death certificate, but your live born record tells you that you are living. Please acquire your live birth record, folks. Please go to the registry and have this with you at all times, and get out of the jurisdiction of the police and the judges, for they are committing fraud against your name, against your living being status, and they are reducing you to a person. A person is a corporation. You don't want to be a corporation. A corporation is a corpse. It's dead. It does not live, it does not speak. They can't hear your voice in court. It's a commercial process. They can only deal with the dead in their ship of citizenships. And you don't want to be a citizen. You want to be a sovereign under God's jurisdiction. As the scriptures say, we obey God rather than men, and do not respect personalities. If you respect this person, you are committing fraud. Thank you.
Thank you. there's this agenda in mainstream media, and I think it's fairly easy to back this up, to keep people stupid, docile, and apathetic, and therefore the elite who own these corporations and the families that own the corporations, even fewer people, their agenda is to keep us stupid and apathetic.
They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest.
The media frame defines the political possibility. So to bring about meaningful change, we have to enlarge the media frame.
Government won't make these changes for us. Yet again, it is down to the common man.